Okay, so that is definitely some thunder right there. I'm not sure if the audio on this camera phone can pick up on the thunder, but okay, there we go. Yeah. So today is Wednesday, July 17th. It's right around 5:45 p.m. I am down here in Connecticut with my family. We just found out that my dad broke his back. He has fractured spinal bones. And that's why he's been in so much pain for the last 4 weeks and has barely been able to walk, literally. Oh, there we go. So awesome. Anyway, I took the Amtrak train down yesterday from Boston, arrived just in time down here to take my dad to a medical appointment. And we got the surprising news that he has some broken spinal bones, even though his visit to the emergency room a month ago showed that his spine was okay. Isn't that interesting? When you go to an emergency room and they do imaging, and the imaging does not show any broken bones, but you're in terrible pain, then shouldn't the emergency room physician order follow-up testing, order follow-up imaging, order follow-up diagnostics? Shouldn't they do that, right? But they didn't. Instead, they referred my dad back to his primary care physician, who didn't even physically examine him or see him. His primary care physician simply referred him to a physical therapist and then prescribed baby aspirin for his pain. So my poor dad has been in terrible pain for a month now. He's in his 80s. He's barely able to walk. He can't sleep in his bed because he is in too much pain to even lie down flat. So he has to sleep sitting up on the couch, and he can barely get up off the couch without literally grabbing onto furniture. That's awesome. Excellent. So awesome. But it's not raining, so that's another weird thing. Lots of thunder, lots of lightning. No rain for now. I guess it's just called dry thunder and dry lightning. So I am the family caregiver because my brother and sister have kids and full-time jobs. They cannot travel to help my elderly parents when they suddenly develop health issues. I have to do that. So I've been down here going back and forth between Southern Connecticut and Boston for the last month now, and advocating for my dad's medical care, which he hasn't really been getting a lot of. Thankfully, we visited a specialist yesterday afternoon just after I got off the train from Boston, and the specialist reissued some imaging, which then showed that he had fractured vertebra. But why did the initial x-rays not show any fractured bones? And why did they tell him he was perfectly fine when he was in so much pain he could barely move, right? Okay, so now it's raining. I'm going back in. I just love thunderstorms, though, especially in the middle of summer when it's nice and warm out. It's just the coolest thing. Wow, it's later than I thought. 6:02, and we're still having a thunderstorm. I love it. But back to my dad's diagnostics and failed medical care following an emergency room visit a month ago, where the x-rays showed that he did not have any broken bones, but a visit to a follow-up specialist yesterday, or rather a follow-up visit to a specialist yesterday, indicated that he had several fractures of the bones that were causing him terrible pain over the last 4 weeks. Well, then, what's the deal? Are the diagnostics that he initially received during his emergency room visit correct? Or was there a failure of technology in that those diagnostic results, right? So diagnostics are not infallible. Instruments are often not calibrated, not properly checked for accuracy, and they give false positives or false negatives. That happens all the time. That's why instrumentation has to be very finely calibrated and regularly checked for calibration and for accuracy, right? As well as specificity. So accuracy and specificity are two different things. They measure two different things. So all of a sudden everybody's like walking around. Anyway, instrumentation can often be wrong. So when you go get an x-ray, and if the x-ray is, equipment is old or has not been functioning properly, or if the patient moves, for instance, you get a blurry result that shows no fractures. If the patient moves even just a tiny bit during an x-ray, the result is blurry. And then it's up to the technician or to the physician to order a new x-ray. If they don't do that, then it shows there's no broken bones because it's blurry. I'm pretty sure that's what happened in my dad's case. Just because you get an x-ray doesn't mean it's accurate. Maybe the technician, made a mistake. Maybe the equipment hasn't been calibrated. Maybe the equipment is old. Maybe it's not functioning properly. Maybe there's dust on the lens. I'm not referring to an x-ray, obviously, because you don't have a lens, but on any kind of imaging. Maybe there's a problem with the technology. Maybe there's a problem with the computer software that is used to, show images, right? There can be a breakdown of accuracy anywhere along the line of any type of diagnostic, all the way up to the physician or the technician that interprets the results. So just because you get a result from a medical test or procedure does not mean that it is accurate. And should there be a follow-up procedure and a second opinion as soon as possible? Yes. Was that ordered in my father's case? No. So there has been a failure of the medical system in his care right now. That is a problem. But right now, I'm just enjoying this summer thunderstorm and watching the rain, although I think it already stopped. Thunderstorms are really great, especially if you don't have to be standing in them. You can just watch them from the front porch. It's one of summer's best feelings, I think. And I'm just loving this right now. Dad is okay. I'm taking care of him. He will be just fine.